The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning to you here at 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher.
On Capitol Hill, lawmakers appear to agree something needs to be done to stem the tide of mass shootings in America. But there's little agreement on what should or can be done. And now a bipartisan group of senators is trying to come up with a solution. NBC's Chris Pallone reports.
Alex, Maddie, good morning. A Democratic senator says he has 1 week to reach consensus with 10 of his Republican colleagues to pass new gun safety legislation.
I'm sick and tired. I'm just sick and tired of what's going on. It continues to go on.
After the latest school massacre in America, President Biden says something needs to be done to prevent the next one.
The idea that an 18-year-old can walk into a store and buy weapons of war designed and marketed to kill is, I think, just wrong.
On Capitol Hill, Republicans say they want to improve mental health care and security at school buildings.
Hardening it to where no one can get in would take care of one of the places that seems to circle through sooner or later where we have another tragedy.
A big problem.
While Democrats focus on access to guns.
Every other nation, from Canada to England, has all the same issues that we have. We are a nation that makes it so easy for people intent to kill others to get these weapons of war.
But there might be room for compromise. Some Republicans appear open to passing a red flag law, which allows a court to order the confiscation of guns from someone who is deemed a threat.
I found enough Republicans today that were willing to talk, that over the next 7 to 10 days, we're going to have a discussion privately, confidentially, behind closed doors as to whether there are 60 votes in the Senate to pass something.
I don't know what the solution is to this particular problem, but maybe there's some things we can do.
A grieving nation watches and waits. Today, the Senate will vote on a domestic terrorism prevention bill. It's a response to the racially motivated Buffalo mass shooting, but it's not expected to get enough Republican votes to pass. In Washington, Chris Pallone, 17 News.
Meantime, a student at Robb Elementary is speaking out about the harrowing evacuation during Tuesday's mass shooting. 9-year-old Chance Aguirre says he was in the cafeteria when shots rang out. He and his classmates hid until police arrived and rushed them out of the cafeteria, running outside to the safety of a home across the street.
Everybody was scared. We were all panicking because we didn't know what was really happening. All we saw were thousands of police and Border Patrol coming into the cafeteria, and we were all hiding behind a stage in the cafeteria when it happened. All that we saw were like policemen, nothing else, like helicopters from the police, just going everywhere. We had to leave the school.
Unimaginable. 19 children and 2 teachers were killed in that mass shooting. Counselors remain on hand at our reunification center for anyone in the community trying to move forward.
And a vigil was held in Uvalde yesterday to honor the lives lost in Tuesday's mass shooting. Community members and political figures alike gathered in unison to commemorate the innocent victims. Texas Governor Greg Abbott was also in attendance. The group gathered in prayer as they celebrated the life of the children and 2 teachers. A community vigil was additionally held outdoors with stories told and memories shared.
Following a tragedy, so many people are feeling helpless, wondering how they can help those affected. There are verified GoFundMe accounts to send your money to support the victims' families and survivors. First State Bank of Uvalde's opened an account for families. Checks made payable to Robb School Memorial Fund can also be mailed to the bank. And the Uvalde Police Department said the city's accepting donations to pay for families' medical expenses. Checks can be sent to the city of Uvalde. To learn more and to get those addresses, head over to our website, kget.com.
And the rise in school shootings in the 21st century has forced educators to rethink the way schools are designed. That legacy can be seen right here in Kern County. 17's Chris Burton joins us in studio this morning with more. Good morning, Chris.
Well, Alex, good morning. Kern County hasn't seen a school shooting since 2013, but that hasn't stopped designers from upping security and wondering if it's enough to stop a killer. Standard Elementary in Oildale was designed with gunfire in mind.
How can we make our schools safer, knowing that in the 21st century, school shootings have become a reality?
The district designed Standard Elementary in 2018, the same year a gunman murdered 17 students at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. From the very beginning, designers keyed in on the features most likely to hinder such an attacker.
Cameras, 6-foot fences, buzzed-in gates to let parents in, doors that are easy to lock from the inside.
Standard Elementary also boasts bulletproof windows and a layout that ensures all students are encircled by buildings and fences at all times. It can be a tricky line to walk, educators say. Luke Hogue, overseeing development of a new middle school at Greenfield Union School District, is currently trying to walk that line.
There's a tendency for schools to become more institutionalized, looking like institutions when you want them to be welcoming and a place where kids feel like it's an exciting place to be.
Still, Hogue says it may not be enough. He served as a local principal during the Sandy Hook massacre and now is forced to take stock again.
I walked that campus, and I walked that campus that I was in charge of intently, and I looked at everything I possibly could do on that campus. I looked at exits, I looked at entries, I looked at our procedures, I looked at our trainings, and then I reflected on what occurred at Sandy Hook. And I thought all those things that I just reviewed would not have stopped what occurred in Sandy Hook. And I think that if I was to do the same thing today for what occurred in Texas, the outcome would be the same. And that sense of helplessness doesn't sit well with anybody, including myself.
You know, I've asked educators over the past 48 hours, is this a place that you thought we would get to in education? Looking back 10, 15 years, to a person they have said, no, we don't know how we got here.
And as we talk about security and what more can we do, you know, as a parent, I go, do my children really have to go to school in an institution that looks like a prison that's encased with so many security measures? Mm-hmm. It's really sad that that's what it's come to.
Absolutely.
And I know that this is something that, you know, school educators talk about all the time. It's not just when these things happen, but I know that unfortunately when we see a mass shooting at a school, yesterday, for example, a lot of educators across Kern County were able to meet, talk about what happened and ask the question, what can we learn from what happened in Texas and apply it to maybe some other safety measures that we can implement here in Kern County? And it is, I know that those conversations are happening.
Yes, they are, and it's good to hear that, you know, they are so ready to have those conversations. Yeah. Educators are doing an amazing job, and, you know, I just feel for all of them right now.
All right, Chris, thanks so much.
And making news around the state in Sacramento, Governor Newsom wants to expedite the passage of several new gun control laws. Ashley Zavala picks up the story from there.
Here at the state capitol, lawmakers are working on passing several gun control related bills that are at about the halfway point in the legislative process. Normally, if passed, these bills would be signed in the fall, but Governor Gavin Newsom wants to speed up that timeline, requesting that they be on his desk ready to sign by the end of next month.
We mean business. We are resolved in this fight. We're not giving up. We're not giving in to the cynicism. We're going to turn this around. Governor Gavin Newsom and Democratic legislative leaders vowing to fast-track gun control bills through the state legislature following a series of shootings in the state and across the country.
We have to turn it around before another neighbor, mother, teacher, or child is senselessly ripped from our worlds.
The bills include one modeled after Texas's abortion law, allowing private citizens to sue the makers and sellers of illegal assault weapons and ghost guns. Some have raised concerns about its legality. The governor confident it will be effective.
We want to save lives. They use that to put women's lives at risk. We're going to use that, the door they open, that law, and that process to enforce a private right of action to get these guns off the street.
Other bills include efforts to strengthen ghost gun restrictions, a bill allowing local governments and the state attorney general to sue gun makers and sellers, and one that restricts advertising firearms to minors. These would add to the more than 100 gun laws already in the state.
I think we need to take a pause here and mourn with the victims.
Republican Assemblyman James Gallagher says there are other public safety efforts the governor could fast track, including putting an end to some early release policies for felons in California prisons, or going through the backlog of gun violence restraining orders that would take guns from people who shouldn't have them.
So we need to start talking about the underlying conditions and other issues that are leading to these mass shootings. Another gun law, our history shows, is not going to solve that problem.
While the legislature works through this debate, the governor says he wants urgency clauses added to these gun control bills. That means they would go into effect as soon as he signs them. At the state capitol, Ashley Zavala, 17 News.
Meantime, a frightening discovery at an elementary school in Sacramento. A gun and a loaded magazine were found in the desk of a second-grade student on Tuesday. Other students alerted the staff that their classmate had the weapon. The school called police, who are now investigating how the child got that gun. Officials say several weapons have been found on or near Sacramento area campuses in recent months.
A collapsed facade at a strip mall in Los Angeles left 6 people trapped yesterday for more than an hour. According to the LA County Fire Department, a call came in around 4:07 p.m. and units arrived just minutes later. It happened at a strip mall in Temple City and resulted in 6 people being stuck inside 2 different businesses. 5 people were inside a salon, while the other business was a cleaner's. Crews worked to secure the front of the structure and remove debris before those people were freed. No injuries were reported.
Oklahoma is the first U.S. state to outlaw abortion completely, while Roe v. Wade protection still stands. The governor there has signed a measure that immediately prohibits all abortions with very few exceptions. Those exceptions include rape or incest, or when the mother's life is at risk. It is now the strictest abortion ban in the nation.
In your 17 Crime Watch now, police are investigating after they say a man and 2 women assaulted a security guard with a skateboard. It happened back on April 23rd. Police say a security guard assigned to the downtown parking structure on 18th Street asked a man and 2 women to leave the property. The group allegedly responded by hitting the guard in the head with the skateboard. No arrests have been made. If you recognize any of these suspects, you're asked to call BPD at 327-7111.
Hundreds of Kern Medical Center workers formed a picket line before their morning shift at Kern Medical yesterday, saying they wanted to bring the community's attention to the patient care crisis in the Kern County hospital system.
No safety, no peace. No safety, no peace.
The workers say short staffing and poor retention, apparently resulting from the system's low wages, has an impact on patients. In particular, the large number of low-income medically underserved residents in Kern County. The workers have been attempting to negotiate a new union contract with the Kern Medical Hospital Authority, saying they want to address staffing issues and negotiate wages. We reached out to Kern Medical, but officials declined to comment.
Hello, this is Tim Callahan with Clinica Sierra Vista, and we're excited to unveil the Community Health Center of the Future, our comprehensive care center. It's located right across the street from Memorial Hospital. We have every service under one roof, from family medicine, OBGYN care, dental services for adults and children, behavioral health, and much more. So find your way to better care at Clinica Sierra Vista this year at our comprehensive care center. Visit our website, clinicasierravista.org, for the latest on this project. We'll see you soon.
Bakersfield College, along with the city of Arvind, celebrated a major milestone for higher education yesterday. The community college is installing a new satellite campus in Arvind, giving students direct access to higher education. 17's Marco Torres reports.
It's a special day for Bakersfield College. It's the groundbreaking for the Arvind campus, and Arvind and county leaders all came out to celebrate the event.
3.
It's official. These 32 acres of land will one day be home to a new college located directly across the street from Arvind High School.
This is the shining moment when you take a shovel and symbolically turn dirt. That means Arvind is going to have a building, a campus of Bakersfield College in Arvind.
For the community, it means that they can go to school in the city that they live in. They're going to be able to, yes, walk to their community college.
Many families in this low-income community struggle to send students on to college. Many of them don't have the same privileges other children have growing up. These kids often have to make a choice, spend money to go to school, or work and help their families.
So Arvin is a low-income community, so bringing education to their backyard is important because sometimes our students have to make the decision. So with the building of our Arvin campus, we are making education accessible for them.
The satellite campus has been asked for by the community for decades. Now, the new college will offer associate's and bachelor's degrees for students.
Arvin is a community that we need to absolutely lift. It's a vibrant community of passionate individuals. So our focus is to bring college closer to home so the students from high school can get a college degree. Their parents can come back and get a college degree. So this is really going to be intergenerational community gathering place for education and economic mobility.
The Arvin campus is expected to finish construction and open in the fall of 2024. From Arvin, Marco Torres, 17 News.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.